right. Welcome to today's community conversation. My name is Sean Hurley, and I'll be your community host. We're joined by Danya, CAD Mama, Revit Hints and Hacks, View Templates and Filters. A lot of good stuff here. So let's kick it off. Danya, let's go to the next slide, please. Community conversations are virtual meetups featuring expert speakers from across the community. Sessions range from deep dives, tips and tricks, and live demonstrations on products such as AutoCAD, Revit, Dynamo. Dynamo's in 2 hours, I think, or 3 hours session on that. Fusion 360, roundtables, industry talks, all kinds of stuff from beginners to experts. The fun stuff from the lawyers. Next, please.
Yes.
This is just simply a statement that says that if you make any purchasing decisions, that you make it based on the products as they ship today. If we should make any forward-looking statements, that you disregard those, and it's in the product. There's no representations here today. That'll keep the lawyers happy. Next, please. Some of the operating things here. We got lines muted to reduce the background noise, although we do invite you to turn on your camera. Kind of gives us an in-person feel. This is a conversation, so feel free to raise your hand if you have something topical right at the, about the topic that Danya is talking about, and we will either call on you to unmute or read your question aloud and answer it when we get a pause. What else? The session is recorded. The link won't be sent to you in an email. What it will be posted on the event page where you're registered. So if you go back to the Revit Hints and Hacks for this session, it'll be posted there. You have my word, within the next 14 hours. I got to give myself a window here. So, Jason, is that a dog? Sorry, it's me, squirrel. Next, please. All right. I am Sean Hurley, Autodesk Community Engagement Manager. I am a geeky technologist in Bend, Oregon, and that's the eastern side of the Cascades. So I went from the rainy side at Portland over to the high desert, dry, hot, fires, and drought section. So still good though. Rivers, lakes, all that good stuff. Danya.
Yeah, I just started a new job. This is my third week. I am now the senior CAD and BIM analyst at Nelson Worldwide. I do Revit CSI and Revit Forensics, and I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee. And let's get started. Let me tell you what we're going to do today is we're talking about what is the purpose of a view template, what is in the view template dialog box. That's going to take most of the day. Setting up view filters, applying a view template and assigning a view template and the difference between the two, and then just some ahas that I found. I had random little things that I found, and I'll just do them all under the aha section right now. So let's get started with what is the purpose of a view template? It's the quickest way to apply many visibility and graphic properties to a view so that you can have it all set up to look the way you want them to. The settings are managed in a project level so that it can be set up in a template. And they just add a consistent look to similar views throughout the project, throughout your company even. And some of the reasons that you would have a view template would be to have the different looks for construction documents, presentations, various disciplines, your working views, elevation sections, etc. And you would have some of those set up and assigned to your views and your templates so that you can get moving right with these things. So what is in the view template? And get that out of here. The view template, when you start looking at them, let's start at the top corner, the top left corner. And you have your discipline filters. They've got the basically disciplines of architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, coordination. Those are the filters that you can work with for disciplines. The view type filters, you have 3D views and walkthroughs, and then you have ceiling plans, and then grouped together is the elevation sections and detail views. And then another grouping is your floor, structural, and area plans. And within those, you can see that you can just look at just the architectural and then maybe just the architectural and the floor plans, and you can start limiting some of what you see. But when we're looking at it with the all, this is from a typical out of the box template. And this is what you see in there. And let me go over to, yes. So under the view templates, you can see if I were to narrow it down just to architectural and just to floor plans, I'm going to make my list a lot shorter. And then once you get into these, you can start looking at, the different things over here. But let's look at a couple of other view templates. View templates list. So then you come over here and you can name them. You can hit the view properties, and you can get the views and stuff, the values set up, and you can tell whether or not it's going to be included in the view template or not. Because sometimes you don't want to include some things in a view template. It depends on what the view is doing. And that's some of the basics there. Let's look at, this is a view template for firm I used to work with. They had a lot of things set up. You see there's a lot more filters and stuff, a lot more view templates in here. They've got print and they've got working views set up. They've got the ones that were in there to begin with, the ones that came with the software. You can remove these if you want to. You can keep them, or you can just add your own. And you can see it's a little more in depth. This one is, let me go to that project. And under the coordination, working overall here, coordination view, you can see that this has got a lot of colors and stuff signed to it. This was one way that you can use a view template to help define things out. So this is showing where it's a food service industry, and you can see how you can use colors. They've got colors for different things. Colors, pink if it's plumbing, needs plumbing. Green if it needs electrical. The brown tone is if it needs a combination of MEP. So we've got, this one would have plumbing and electrical. This is an ice machine set up. So you can see that you can use things like colors and stuff in this. And this is done through the view filters, and we'll be looking at those in particular later. But that's how those are set up to have those colors in there. And it just makes it easier to set these up and have these available, and then just train your people with what they're set up for. But this just was a very visual thing for knowing that they needed to put an electrical outlet or a plumbing fixture or something there. And you can do some view filters. View filters. Some other parameters have been added here that weren't in the original. Like the TM was definitely, those are some that they have added themselves. You can add more properties to views from your shared parameter file. And you would do this by going into, and this is one way to get more availability to do more with your view templates, is to have more parameters to act on. And you do those through project parameters. So you can go in and let me find one of the TM. They have a TM subdiscipline, which I see it right over here. This one is set to kitchen. The TM subdiscipline, if I go to modify it, you can see that it was added to, scroll on down, it is added to two things. It was added to sheets and it was added to views. So that's how you can get something more on your views if you want to do more things with your view templates, is just being able to assign a shared parameter, keeps the consistency, and then add it to the project parameters so that you can add to your view templates and maybe even filters. Now let's look at, this is my new template that I'm working with. The company I just started a job at 3 weeks ago is here, and it's, you can see just by this slider bar, there's a lot in there. So let's go look at that. This project and the view templates here, you can see there is a lot more added here at the bottom for parameters. Now this is just for floor plans. If I go with just floor plans, you can see things here. Maybe if I go look at some of these will be assigned to all of them because these are, yeah, there's not just floor plans. It is for all kinds of things, but it has to do with where they're going to be showing up, show in design or legends or coordination, conduct. I'm still learning this one, but you can see how easy it is to add those by just putting them in share parameters and then add them to your project parameters. So getting a little more in depth with the view template. So we've looked at the disciplines, and the view types. Let's start looking in here. Almost every one of them is going to have the same things up here at the top. They're going to have the scale and let me go ahead and pass it on this and make it a bit there. They're going to have your scale, your display model, your detail level, and your parts visibility. And again, you can include them or not include them in there. This one's just a value that's to get that values in there. So for the next section, you're going to come down into these edit buttons. The first ones all come from your visibility graphic overrides, or VB or VG for short. When you have view templates assigned, you go to visibility graphics override, that dialog box is going to be grayed out because it's run by the template. And you can see you can get through all of these. They're in order: the model, annotation, analytical model, import, and filters. And they're all related to the tags up here. You just hit any button you do, then you can go from one tag to the other. You don't have to keep going out and hitting buttons and bringing it back up. You can just keep going to the tags. And let me pop back over and just grab one of these. So you can see that when you start in here, the model categories list out all the different categories you have in your model that you can assign lines to, you can assign patterns to. For example, you can change the line type that it's going to have. You can change colors, and you can change line weights for all those. You can also change where if it's got a cut line. So if you're in a floor plan and you cut through the wall, you can change if you want to have the cut lines look different than the projections lines and surfaces. And you can also put patterns in your inside it there if you want to, and you can halftone it if need be. And let me grab one with floor plans. I want to show you something in particular. I'm going to look at just a floor plan overall. And you can see that they've gone as far as to take and put even the detail level. They want to make sure some of the detail things were set to detail fine. So your options would be to have by view, coarse, medium, or fine in there. So that's another way of setting up the view template so that you've got more control over getting things to look consistent throughout. Under your annotation, somebody please tell Autodesk that this is annoying. To every time I open this, I have to expand that. Oh, are they listening? Yeah, there are a couple listening. Okay. This is where you're going to find all your tags and stuff. Most of your lines are going to be set based on the tag family and things. So you're not going to do a whole lot here unless you need to halftone them or something, or you just want to make sure some things are turned off, not showing up in this view. Your analytical model has all the different things for the analytical model in there, but this one they chose not to show it at all. So there's another option in some of these categories. You can say show them or don't show them. So you can say, I'm not going to show this anywhere. So just got it turned off in this view. Imported objects. This is where you're going to find, yeah, that's aggravating. This is where they've got some DWGs in here. You're going to find where you can go in and see what layers it has and stuff, so you can override those if need be, or you can just turn things off. And then under filters, this was where you're going to be able to assign. They're assigning, here's their wall ratings are set with some hatch patterns and some colors, transparency of 100% on some things. So you can do a lot of control here with your filters and how you got those set. And we're going to look into filters. So all their door panels are going to be 100% transparent, and the patterns are going to be hidden. So that's why you can get to your filters and how you can set them up and do their overrides for them. We'll talk about setting up filters in a little bit. You also have your Revit links, and you can set it. This one is set to custom. And when you go to the custom, you're going to get a box that looks quite similar. Link's not loaded. Link's not loaded. You would get a box that's similar to this. That's would give you the Revit link visibility graphic overrides, and it would have model, annotation, analytical. Revit links doesn't have, it does have, doesn't have filters. But this one has also added design options so that when you are looking at this one, you can see when design options have been added, it adds it to this box as well. So that's the big difference. It's not going to be there unless there's design options in the project. Then you get to have it. All right, so let's get to looking at some of the rest of the things in here. So we've seen, we'll go down to those edits. The Revit Links design options. Your model display. Most of these are going to be in all the views. As model display, you want it to be hidden, shaded, consistent colors, realistic. Your shadows. Oh my gosh, people, please turn shadows on, get your picture, turn shadows off, save the project. Don't leave shadows on. Just don't do it. It's going to drag your project down. It's going to make it so slow because of having it in there. You won't be able to get things done as fast because it's trying to compute shadows for everything, whether you have got that view open or not. Just, okay, I'll get off the soapbox then. So if you've got lighting involved, you can have your lighting set up. Photographic exposure. So they've got this set up so it's, just how they want it set. The value brighter, darker, and then it's put in there. Underlay orientation, looking down. Well, I'm in a floor plan, so yeah, I'm going to look down. The view range is set with a 5'3" cut plane. The top is going 7.6 to the associated level. The orientation project north as opposed to true north. The phase filters is set for showing previous and new. Those are your other options in there. Your disciplines, that's the same disciplines you're going to get up here. And show hidden lines by discipline as opposed to none or all. Color scheme, if you're going to have a color scheme, this one's set up to be for the background. The color scheme is set to none, but this is where you can go set up your color scheme so that if you've got rooms and colors and stuff set up, this is where you can go and set those up and then save it and then name it here. System color scheme. So if you're going to be working with pipes and ducts and you want to have color schemes with them, it also brings up a dialog box that looks quite similar to the other one. And depth clipping, if you're going to have no clipping or a clip without a line or a clip with a line, however you want to have your clipping. Project zones. And now I'm getting into the custom things. That's a floor plan. Let's go look also at okay, I've got to get out of that. Let's go get at an elevation. And we see we're going to get far clipping now instead of our depth clipping. Most of the rest of these things are going to be quite similar. I got depth queuing. So if you want to start fading and stuff beyond that. And like I say, a lot of these are going to be the same until you get down there. And then you may have some others. Ceiling plans are going to look similar to floor plans. By the way, you can also do schedules, can also have filters applied to them. That's one of my ahas. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Since I didn't mention that before, I want to go ahead and hit that one now. So let's look at setting up some view filters, the basics.
Hey, Tanya,
Yes.
just a quick one. I don't know if you've seen Kimberly's comment, but she said the cut plane at 5'3" seems unusual to me. I'm used to 4-foot cut plane. Is there a reason
Yes.
for 5'3"?
You want to cut through that the window over the kitchen sink. That's that's my first guess.
That's
that.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense.
The
Thanks.
window over yeah, that's my first thought right there is the window over the kitchen sink.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. And thanks, Kimberly. So let's look at filters. The filters allow overrides of categories based on filter rules. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to give it a name, and then you're going to select your categories. If you do multiples, you've got to have the same. Okay, you give it a name, and then the categories find rules. And if you're going to do multiples, then for multiple categories, they all have to have the same parameters to be selected for a consistent rule to be applied. That's the parameters could be maybe it's a family name. Family name, everybody has a family name, right? But if you want to have something like where I had those colors in there, they all had to have a parameter. TM Utilities was put in every one of the families so that we could use that for filtering. So you have to make sure that if you're going to put a multiple, that you pick, if you pick different categories, such as we would pick generic models, specialty equipment, lighting, things like that, that they had in there, and they would add that parameter to all those families. And then you can set up your rules. So that's where you get your filter rules over here. And some of the not so obvious settings, and we're going to get into some of the rules and stuff. Some of the not so obvious settings is the order of the view filters makes a difference, because whatever is first is going to be the one that's going to act on and stay on. So let me pop over and show you in particular that one. I've got it in this project, and under the view templates and under this one, I got to do it this way, but let me show you something else. I could also, if I want to get into this one right here, I could just hit this and I go straight to that view template. I should show you that. And under here, when I go to the filters to look at these, let's break down what these are. If it's got no utilities, then it's going to put it into this cyan color, your shelving, things like that. A combination, I told you, was the brown. And this is where you can set up a color and a line weight and stuff. But because it comes first, the electrical comes next, it could be green. Well, this family here would have had the same rules as that. So let's go look at those rules. And if I just say edit that, it's going to pop me straight to the electrical rough in, which is the rule that I was setting on. And it can be applied to furniture, generic models, lighting fixtures, specialty equipment, plumbing fixtures. And it says that this parameter contains a 2. Okay, well, the combined one says that that parameter is greater than 4. They used 0, 1, 2, 3 for their calling things out. The 0 was no utilities, 1 is plumbing, 2 is electrical, 3 was ventilation. So the ventilation one right down here, up 1, contains a 3. So 4 sets it up. So by having that parameter applied to those multiple categories and setting up this value here using an add rule and selected, like I said, it has to be something they all have in common. By using that, set it to greater than 4, that set the rule. And then over here, the rule has been applied, enabled, it's visible. So you can make it so that you can have a parameter or have a filter that you just want to break things, you want to have it in there so you can turn those things off too. So this is make sure it's visible. And then we did some overrides. Let's now go to, and we're going to look at making some rules and stuff here just a little bit. Yeah, there's you can make it a project parameter If it doesn't appear in the list of parameters, make it a project parameter and assign it to those categories. So that TM utilities could have been made a project parameter and then assigned to those as well, instead of having to open up every family and put it in there. Now, they could be nested set of rules. This one, I found one. I'm like, oh, I got to show that one. That one's just, and I'm just going to go to the filters itself, and I'm going to pull down until I geek out. When I get a hold of a new template, I'm like digging into these things. I'll see what all I can find. Electrical data all. This one was fun. This one has the rules, or any of these rules can be done. So you can have the options of doing an and or an or, and then you can add a rule. And this rule was based on family name. Family name could be or contains this, or it contains this, or it contains this. And then after that, they added a set. When you add a set, it is a subset of that rule that you were in. So then the name can contain any of those, or the name. And then after that, there's an or here, or it contain, the family name could contain 26 or 27, but first it has to contain one of those. Then there's another rule, or the family name could contain AV, combo, network, power, switching, all the way down through there. So if I added a set, it would depend on where I was setting. If I'm setting here and add a set.
When you get a moment, Danya.
Yeah. It's not letting me add a set there. There it is. Finally came up there. And so you can also take a set away. So yeah, you can build these and ors all the way down through there. Okay, what is the question?
Michael is asking, what are the dangers of having someone fooling with a filter, and how do you ferret that out when it happens in the template?
You have I used to.
You can't use a big stick or electric shock in a chair. That's the old days. We can't do that anymore.
No. I would always have a project named to steal from. And I would open up their project, and then I would just transfer project standards and bring over all my view templates and view filters and just override them. That's only, you're not going to stop them. They're going to, if they can find a button, they're going to poke it. We know this. But the only way to fix it is to have that project to steal from and just have a dummy project. So I can just take everything, and using transfer project standards, you can bring over your view templates and your view filters all at once. And you will be given the option to overwrite. So you can fix it. You can't stop it, but you can fix it. Great question. Great question. Yeah, they will poke it. And they're going to poke it when they can. Another thing, selection sets can be used under selection filters. So you can actually create a selection set. I don't want to make the filters that go, and it could be this, and it could be that, it could be that, just to get this group of stuff selected into a filter. Why don't I just make a selection set? So I'm going to go look at that in the project with all the equipment in it. So I'm going to select on some things. Let's go up here, and I'm just going to select this area right here, this grouping right here. This is the dish room. I'm going to use this filter to filter out. I don't want elevations. I don't want tags, reference planes, or views. I just want specialty and generic. Okay. And then I come up and I save it. And this is going to be dish room. So now I've got a selection set called dish room. I can go into this, and I'm going to create a filter. And let's just say, let's add new. Pulling down my selection set. I see they're playing around with this. So I've got one called dish room. Okay. So let me grab that and say, okay. So now dish room came up here. Now, whatever comes first is what's going to get it. So I'm going to make sure that this is above all these others. They've already got colors on them. So what if I make this something really, let's go with the color orange. If you know me, I like orange. And because it's up above the others, then these things should all turn orange. Boom. So see, you can make a selection set and even put a filter on that. So that's a nice way just to say just these things and just in this view. And again, it does matter where it fell because before they all had the different colors on them. And if that goes below there, well, let's just make it do that so I can show you. If I could put it down below there and just move it down, 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 down. Okay. Okay. Doesn't matter because it's below there. So your order does make a difference. All right. Any other questions before I go on? Okay, good. Okay. Well, that went backwards. Okay. Applying a view template. Applying a view template allows you to not assign, let me get my wording right, to put the view template properties on a view. But any changes to the view template will not automatically be applied when you apply a view. And you can apply properties to current view. And if I apply properties to current view, I just pick which one I want. Let's say I want to do the one that is plumbing in slab. It says it already has one assigned. Would you like to apply this one? Yeah. That's not going to make a big difference. It's basically got the same colors and stuff. Let me apply another one. Let's apply a print. I know. It doesn't want to do it because it's already got one. But you can apply view templates over here. You can right click and apply view template. Let me take one. Oh yeah, this says it's got print overall applied, but it's not going to do it. It just is not the best way to do it. And somebody has overridden my print. And now I've got to apply template properties. It's not going to let me do it now because I've applied and apply on it. So it'll partially do it. Let me go to another view. I'm going to take this one off. None. And right click and apply. Print. Everything went black. Well, it's on dash, I don't know. But if you go over here, yeah, applying view template, it can be done by selecting view or multiple views and right clicking and setting apply, or you can do it with pull down. But it doesn't keep things. It doesn't, if you change the view template, it doesn't change them. It's when you assign a view template that makes it where the changes to the view template will automatically be applied. So you want to make sure people are not applying view templates, but assigning view templates. And it can be either done inside the view or by selecting the view or multiple views. And then at that point, once they're selected, you pick it under the properties. It's under the property area. You can pick several views. If I wanted these, let's see, these two views here, I can come over here and apply a view template at one time and tell it to go to the working overall, for example. And when I go in here, it should be working overall. This one is the cook line. Come on, click in there. There. And it gets those view templates are set for them. So you assign a view template when you want to be able to edit the view template and make some of the changes with it. Applying is not recommended in my opinion because I want to assign because I want the view template to be in charge of it at all times. Now let's get into some of the ahas I found. Browser organization can be done by a view template. And you say, why would you want to do that? Well, if you want to keep your working views away from your other views, but you just go into browser organization and come in and edit it. And you can come down and tell it to be by view template, so that you can see exactly what things are under, where your print, where your working is, etc. It's one way to organize it for a project to see what's been set and stuff. Dependent views have to have the same view template, so it might not be a good idea to put the scale locked down as being part of the view template rules. If you're setting up for a larger scale for match lining, you don't want to have that scale locked in there. So if that was the case, then under view templates, let's say for your print overall, yeah, you may want to make sure that that is not included, because you may want to change your scale. But they have to have the same view template. So you would find if you, well, if you go in, oh, I'll change it. And then you go back to the other view and it's changed also. So that's one time I know that you may not want to lock down your view scale value, is if you're going to have dependent views. If you do, view template has the wrong view type filter, just set it to none and drop down the current template. Template from current view, and create a template from current view under the view template. Sherry's on here, and we did this last week. I think Sherry, maybe it was just somebody from work had this happen to them, and I'm like, oh, I was already planning this. We're going there. What had happened is somebody pushed a button. He went into manage view templates. I'll say he. I can't remember if he or she. He was under elevation, and he liked the view template he had for a section. So what he did was just take it and he duplicated it and named it plan and assigned it to that view. So you can go over here, and when you're doing all, where is that working plan? So I can set it like this, but he wondered when he would pick on it, it didn't go to it automatically because he's under floor and structural. So now he's under, when you do it from here, it goes to the filter, the view type that is, and he couldn't find it. So what you do with that, if they like the way the view is set up, take this and set it to none. And to get this as a floor plan view, come up here to view templates and say, create template from current view. And give it the name here. And yes, I want to replace it. So there it is. And now when I pick on here, I can find working plan. And then if you pick on here, it will show up in the list because now it's under floors, not under elevations. Yeah, that came up. I'm like, well, they just got the wrong type. And I'm like, oh, that is so going in the ahas. So I had to have that one in here. You can create a view list schedule to see which views have which view template assigned to them. That's something I think everybody should do. Let me just pull one up from here. It's under the working schedules. We have a working view list. And it's a good way to find out, yeah, the view template is the second thing down here. There's quite a few of these that don't have view templates on them. Well, they're detail views, they're fine. So you can see which one your elevations, which ones have working views on them, stuff right now. So it's just a good way to get something done and run a check on your project to make sure you've got the right view templates set up. Another aha. Yeah, and then we talked about this earlier. View templates can be copied from one project to another using transfer project standards. But then the question came up. I found this. I only want the one view template. I don't want all of them over there. Great. Take that project, make a copy of it, detach it if you have to, and just save it out here, and then go in and delete every view template except the one. and then save that project. Then you can transfer project standards of the one view template if you just want the one. But if you're doing a company standard, why don't you just bring them all over anyway? And unless you've done some changes on some and you don't want to change everything, but you want that one from over there. But that's one way you can do it. If you want just the one, save it, detach it, put it out there, and then you can transfer project standards and only bring the one over. What else have I got?
There is a quick question.
Yes.
Do you keep that in your working project template, the schedule?
Do I keep the schedule in my working project template? Well, see, I just have my steal from. My steal from has everything in it. So yeah, I just keep it all in the steal from. Yeah, and I do name it to steal from, and then I put the year after it, to steal from 21. Oh yeah, something. And that way I've always got something I can go get it. Yeah. That's the thing about Revit is if you get rid of something, I can go get it. I can reload the family. I can transfer project standards. I can copy and paste some things. Oh, I hate doing that with things. I
Michael
hate
wants
copy
to
paste.
steal your steal from.
Yeah. But yeah, the steal from is a great idea. That's one of the best things I ever had was don't worry, I can get it back. Transfer project standards. I even had a family that had nothing but the company's basic materials in it. So I could transfer those over. If we had got a family from somewhere else, we wanted our standard materials on, I'd transfer project standards. So it was just nothing but to steal from. So yeah, to steal from is a great project to have around. All right, there can be a view templates added to schedules. That I wanted to show you. It's easy to do. It does kind of lock them down unless somebody's really smart starts looking at it, but there will be somebody that will poke buttons. So if I'm in, let's just go to my equipment schedule. And if I don't want anybody to mess with this, right here, view template. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this, hit rename, copy it. And then I'm going to come over here and create view template from it. And did I say create view template? Oh, done. No, not here. I'm sorry. It's, you got to pull it down. Create template from current view. And here's where I paste it. And then it comes up there and I can say yes, because I can go get it now. There it is. So I sign it. Look what it does. It grays out these buttons. Not a lot of people are going to notice this right here, right quick. If you want to, you could close that down. You got it locked down. Well, that's why you've got a working, see, I've got a working schedule over here. Here's my equipment schedule. This is my working equipment schedule. It's got more in it. This is where you do your work. You don't mess with this one over here. This is a print schedule. So yeah, it's a nice way to lock something down. We talk about locking it down. Yeah, if you put a view template on it, you're going to lock it down. So that's the easiest way to do that. And I'm a little early. I've got Q&A time.
You're doing great.
Anybody else got any questions? This is a fun time.
Speak up. This is a great opportunity to ask Don anything.
Yeah, ask me anything. No?
Here we go. Well, Michael asked, do you have a bunch of steal from files or just one?
I just have one per template. So if I've got, I mean, one per project template. So however many project templates I have, that's how many steal froms I would have. Because that's always the original. And then I don't have to start something with a template, save it out, and then open it up and then transfer project standards. I've always got something you just open right up. So that's the benefit of having this to steal from section. And it's always in my file folder that's to steal from. I just put them all in there.
Awesome. If you raise your Zoom hand, I can call on you and unmute you, or you can post in chat. Michael's full of questions. How many files is too many, or how many filters is too many?
I'm not going there because it's going to be personal preference, because let's just take a look at filters here. See that slider bar? Whoa. That's a lot of filters. The amount of filters has to do with the amount of times you need to use them. So yeah, this is a very high-end architectural template that I've seen, because I've made some templates in the past and I've never used that many filters. So any other questions? Yeah, because this is the fun part.
Jenny's asking, could you show us how to transfer project standard for view templates?
Sure. So let me go over here. The Autodesk template has none. So under manage, boom, transfer project standards. And I'm going to pick a template. That's the new template that I have. Check none. Slide down and pick view templates. And then slide up for filters. Okay. We're going to be a minute here because, yeah, let's override them. I want the ones from over there anyway. Just, yeah, bring them on. So now when I go to view filters, I got a boatload. And this didn't have, this had like one in there. I should have showed you that to begin with. But yeah, this is the default template, and it just got all the filters from the new project. So it's that simple just to bring them over. And it did overwrite 3 that it had in there. How about it next? If you're used to this time, well, the next session is going to be live from Autodesk University, and it's going to be at a different time of day. So you'll need to be watching for that. And it's going to be live at Autodesk University. If you got in there, yay. If you didn't, please don't sit at Autodesk University and watch it on your computer. Go take another class. Watch it when you get back. Watch the recording when you get back. And it's going to be, what are those additional settings? We're going to go through all those additional settings and stuff and what else in there. What buttons we can push. We like to talk about pushing buttons, but we don't want anybody else to push buttons.
Yeah, we're going to stream that live and record it, as well as the people who registered, because it is sold out, of course. The community conversations, we have 2 of them. We have 1 left open, a repeat session of Dynamo. There are a couple of questions. Do you want to take some of those?
Yes.
Dawn? I can read them.
Yes.
We've got Michael. How frequently do you go through your templates and delete out filters and templates? How?
To delete out filters, then you would go to your filters and pick on them, and right down here is your delete button. So that's how you can delete them. And frankly, I don't delete a lot. And when it comes to a new template, it's one of the things that I transfer project standards over for. I don't recreate filters and stuff every time. When I would start a new template, I would start from square one. And I transfer project standards for some things, such as my view templates, my view filters, so I don't have to recreate them. I would also then bring over my schedules, doing import from other project, import views. I bring over my schedules, so I don't have to recreate all those. And it does matter the order you go do some things in, especially if you've got filters involved in other things. So I want to put that out there. So yeah, having that seed file is always wonderful to steal from, but also when I'm going to the next version up, it's also nice to be able to transfer project standards to bring over things such as my view templates and my filters.
Excellent. Do filters and templates slow down Revit at all? That's from Bo.
Not that I know of. I don't think I recognize that as much as I do with groups and large projects. You know, it can be just weighed down with anything, but I don't think the filters and the view templates weigh them down.
Gotcha. And then Sarah's saying, is there a way to extract the VT settings to Excel or other to compare and clean them up?
That's interesting. I have no idea. Because I don't see it here.
Sarah gets a trophy. She stumped Danya.
Yes. So what I want you to do is I will put that in the chat. If you've signed up for this through the community conversation area, I will do some research on that and look for that in the chat. And if I find it, I'll blog about it.
Dustin said, export your schedule to a text file.
But that doesn't get your filters.
And then copy that into Excel. Yeah. All right. Danya, you can research that one. That'll be a nice little nugget.
If I can figure out how to do it, I'll blog about it too. And I'll put that link in the community conversations. I've done that before with other things that didn't get answered during the community conversations. I would go back and find it and then blog about it and then put that link in the conversation area for for the session.
Good point, Justin. Dynamo might be able to do that one.
Oh.
And Carly, thank you for teeing up that question. You have a blog. Yes, she is an author on the Voices blog, and I'm going to share those links right now. So Autodesk Community Voices has about 33 authors right now, including Danya.
Yep. That's a fun thing to do. And my latest one should be posted today.
Yep. Excellent. All right, Danya.
Anybody else got questions? This is when I have the most fun.
Yeah. I think it's really good for attendees, to get that stuff. So Justin saying, thanks. Looking forward to your AU presentation.
Yeah, if you're going to be at AU, you see me going down the hall, give a shout out and come over and say hi.
Yes, please do that. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have some special things going on in those as well. I mean, it's the first time we've been back in person in over 2 years.
Yes.
In community conversations, we're kind of simulating being in person, and it'll be awesome to be in person. Yeah. People will be able to throw things at me.
Get my hecklers down front.
That's right.
I will see my hecklers right up front. Yeah.
Yeah. Just make them run the 5K, Sean.
Not even I'm doing that this year. Great comments. Cherie said, thanks, great presentation. Michelle Hood said, this has been super informative. Thank you. So this is awesome. All right, let me wrap this up. Don't leave yet. We have 2 more slides. And also when you leave, there will be a little survey, and I do mean little. It'll take you maybe 30-45 seconds to fill it out, and it just lets us know what you would like to see in the future, what you liked, how we can improve things, all that good stuff. So we do appreciate that. I pasted some links, and also there's you can be a community conversation speaker.
Oh,
that's okay. No, that's fine.
Okay.
We're good on time. I pasted a bunch of links to a bunch of different resources to help you stay connected with the community, the forums, the community groups, the Community Voices blog. That's awesome. And we're going to be breaking that up so you can filter by all the different products and industries. And maybe this fall we'll have other languages too. So authors that are doing Japanese, German, Danish, you name it, it could be in there. So anyway, and don't forget to look at our calendar for updates for community conversations. So thank you so much for attending today. You can follow us on Twitter too. We do throw a lot of the announcements out there in Twitter and social. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Thursday or Friday, wherever you are. So
enjoyed it.
Thank you, Danya.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Kimberly, for joining us, and thanks for all the great questions. Michael, that was awesome.
Yes.
And everybody, thank you.
Too much fun.
Bye, David.
Bye, David.
We do it for David. Let's go. Right. Bye.
Bye.